Service to revitalize your home for improved livability or increased value prior to sale. Broughton Construction and Home Repair. Some isolated snow showers for Tuesday and Tuesday nights, and 33 for Tuesday afternoons. High close to 40 for Wednesday and Thursday. Also low to mid 40s Friday. Saturday and Sunday, Saturday at least, closer to 50 for a high as we jump ahead to looking at the weekend. And on Sunday about 45 or so. Get a 5-day look at the forecast at livinlargelarry.com. Click on the weather button. Forecast here on the show is courtesy of Jade Furman of Landmark Realtors, MontanaProperty.com. She'll listen to your needs. Jade will show you properties meeting your specific criteria and in your price range. Count on that. Jade Furman of Landmark Realtors, 1925 Grand, MontanaProperty.com. All kinds of blinds and buildings. All kinds of blinds, MT.com. Temperature check and 23 this morning. Our news is brought to you by Rimrock Flooring at 1440 Central Avenue in Billings at rimrockflooringmt.com. And this year, 2016, marks the start of the second year in business for Mark Wotan. He's been in the industry for about 11 years. Rimrock Flooring, you can find him on Facebook as well. We utilize KTVQ.com, Color8.com, and the Billings Gazette for the gathering of some of our news stories here on the show. A man is dead and a woman is behind bars after what appears to be a deadly lover's quarrel in Poplar. Happened on Monday morning. Kenny Trottier, the Poplar Criminal Investigations Supervisor, identified the victim as Robert Todd Pinkerton Jr. Pinkerton died after he was stabbed once in the chest about 9:30 on Monday morning. A woman whose name has not yet been released turned herself into police shortly after the incident. Trottier said the woman will be arraigned on a homicide charge later in this week. Liz Cheney has decided to throw her hat into the ring for a congressional seat her father once held for 10 years. Cheney becomes the 10th candidate on the primary ballot for the only statewide position up for grabs in Wyoming, with the retirement of current Republican Representative Cynthia Loomis this year. County 17, Gillette, Wyoming, reports Cheney decided to start her campaign in Gillette with the backing of over 150 community leaders in Wyoming. Cheney said she wants to have a strong voice representing Wyoming in Washington, D.C., and considers herself a fighter for the state, despite criticism that she's an outsider. Montana's Secretary of State Linda McCullough, who also serves as the state's chief elections officer, announced on Monday the establishment of 5 satellite election offices on American Indian reservations in Montana for the upcoming 2016 elections. The offices follow a directive issued by McCullough in October ordering counties to provide satellite offices if necessary to ensure compliance with the Federal Voting Rights Act. Satellite offices offer services that are otherwise only available to voters at the county headquarters, such as late registration and in-person absentee voting, which are available in the 29 days preceding the election. Under the collaborative agreements, tribes have agreed to provide office space and certain basic services like phone and internet, and counties have agreed to devote county staff and resources as well. Bighorn and Glacier counties previously opened satellite offices to provide election services for the 2014 elections. Both counties are planning on reopening the satellite offices again for this year's primary and general elections, with Bighorn County indicating they'll open a second satellite office in Busby for the 2016 elections. Billings Hazmat's called to the Wells Fargo Operations Center on Overland Avenue for a suspicious package. Billings Police Lieutenant Casey Hafner says the call came in at about 9:40 Monday morning. This is the second time in less than 2 weeks that Hazmat has been called to the Wells Fargo Operations Center. On January 19th, a white powder was reported to have come from an envelope. A field test determined that powder to be cocaine. The envelope the powder reportedly came from was never found, and Billings Fire Department say the suspicious piece of mail will be destroyed by the Billings Police Department. They say the person checking the mail felt that the feel of the envelope was different than the other pieces of mail, and Hazmat was called in to investigate. BNSF Railway Systems' wide capital expenditures plan for 2016 is a 25% cut from 2015. The NSF isn't saying how many of its Montana workers have been laid off this winter. A spokesman said MRL has furloughed 24 as, quote, we adjust employee levels to meet our customers' needs. For now, at least, those needs are dramatically fewer than a year ago. MRL, Montana Rail Link, is a short-line railroad headquartered in Missoula, owned by billionaire Dennis Washington's Washington Companies. Texas-based BNSF, one of the nation's big 4 railroads, is wholly owned by Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway, which brought in $44 billion in 2010. The Bakken oil boom has busted, even as the Obama administration imposes a moratorium on new coal leases on federal lands, a move already being challenged in Montana and elsewhere. Overseas markets for coal from southeast Montana and Wyoming are turning to dust. China alone reduced coal imports by 30% last year. Nationwide, coal shipped by rail was down by nearly 700,000 carloads last year, a decline of 12% from 2014. And according to sources, it's only going to get worse in 2016. The Billings Morning News brought to you by Rimrock Flooring at 1440 Central Avenue. Their showroom is not discontinued flooring. When you walk into their 5,000 square foot showroom, it is all up to date. Available flooring now through Rimrock Flooring, 1440 Central in Billings. RimrockFlooringMT.com. Glad you're along here listening to Livin Large Larry Live, livinlargelarry.com, and all kinds of blinds in Billings and all kinds of blindsmt.com. Log on. There are temperature check sponsor, 23 in Billings and at least the mid-30s, close to the mid-30s in Billings for a high. 5-day look. Forecast, click the weather button at livinlargelarry.com.
I'm just so happy my father had a chance to see his kids before he passed. I just want to say thank you.
When her father fell ill, the American Red Cross was able to help get Veronica's brother home from the Navy to speak to his father one last time. It's thanks to your donations that we can connect military families when they need it most. Please donate today at redcross.org.
When we talk full service and say full service salon and spa, we're talking about Quick Spa. And I think a lot of people in Billings and surrounding towns that come and visit Christina KK and Carrie and Jamie Sue for massages and hair and nails, I think they're getting to know that it truly is a full service salon and spa with spray tans, colon hydrotherapy, permanent makeup, deep tissue hot stone, body wraps, great massage variety, Jamie Sue and nails, gel polish, nail art. Quick Spa, 2348 Grand Avenue, quick-spa.com online.
Hey y'all, I'm Blake Shelton. I love that country music connects people all over this great nation, but unfortunately so does something else, childhood hunger. 15 million children struggle with hunger in America. That's why the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks works to rescue our surplus food to help provide billions of meals to families in need across the country. Join the fight against hunger at feedingamerica.org. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Billings' largest two-day culinary event is coming up February 5th and February 6th. It is Taste of Billings at the Billings Depot. You can pay cash for your tickets over at Uberbrew downtown Billings, or you can get tickets online at billingsdepot.org. The Billings Depot hosts Taste of Billings 2 nights, February 5th, which is a Friday, and then Saturday night. It's a stand-up mingle, very casual event on the 5th, and then more of a 7-course plated dinner. Sit down on Saturday, the 6th of February. It is becoming the region's biggest culinary event. Taste of Billings, Billings' largest 2-day culinary event at the Billings Depot. billingsdepot.org. Livin Large Larry live from Billings, Montana, the Red Line Computer Studios, next to the Dollar Tree, across the street from Goodwill. And we broadcast to you, the world, and we're glad you're here. We get new streamers every day, up to between any given day, between 1,700 and 2,000 streamers that log on to the show. Some don't log on during the live portion of the show. We replay the show after the live portion, thanks to Keystone Mortgage, our replay sponsor. And we get the last couple of weeks, most of our streamers stream during their lunch hour, noon, some at 10 p.m. at night. That's the glory of the podcast. We use the YouTube podcast and all those elements available through livinlargelarry.com. If I could sing, I'd sing to the rooftops about Brown's Automotive. Over 60 years now in Billings. Brown's Automotive, we use them, and there's 4 convenient locations. Brown's Auto Service on Broadwater, Brown's West Auto Service at the corner of Rosebud and 20th Street West, and 2 downtown locations, Automatic Transmission Company at 13th Street North and 1st Avenue North downtown, and Brown's Rebuild Center downtown at 18th Street North and 2nd Avenue North. And it's tune-ups, tire alignments, complete auto repairs, transmission specialist. Over 60 years in Billings. Brown's Automotive, brownsAutoBillings.com. Livin Large Larry live, the show. Glad you're here. livinlargelarry.com. And our all kinds of blinds and Billings temperature check and all kinds of blinds, mt.com at 23, about 33 to 35 for a high in Billings, Montana today. And a 5-day look, we use the weather bug. And our website, livinlargelarry.com. We try for a Billings area newscasts at about every 10 minutes on the show. Here, more coming up. Newscast and also the Iowa caucus last night. Wow, what a circus. We'll have results. I guess they'd be unofficial results of the Iowa caucus coming up later on this morning during our show, Livin Large Larry Live from the Red Line Computer Studios, West Billings. Well, lovebirds, there's a package at the Bighorn Resorts just for you for Valentine's Day coming up on Sunday, February 14th. First of all, $99 all-inclusive package with a standard king room, hand-dipped strawberries and a bottle of champagne as well, $99. Details at thebighornresort.com, and also the family water park package available on February 14th as well at the Bighorn Resort for less than $150. Early check-in at 2 o'clock. You get 4 water park passes, pizza, and a pitcher of soda as well, all-inclusive. Valentine's Day at the Bighorn Resort. Again, thebighornresort.com. We had Chris Dixon, Coach Chris Dixon, on the show yesterday. If you missed the visit with Dixon of the Billings Wolves, second season, 2016 season begins February 20th, by the way, against the Sioux Falls Storm at Rimrock Auto Arena at Metro Parks campus here in Billings. And if you missed the visit with Chris Dixon, we'll have that on coming up in a few minutes here, before 7 anyway on the show. LivinLargeLarry.com, log on, catch our YouTube podcast. We're live right now, but it turns into a YouTube podcast. And also you can just listen to the player there as well. LivinLargeLarry.com. Click on the Listen Now button there. All kinds of blinds and Billings. All kinds of blinds, mt.com. Temperature check, 23. We could see a little snow in our forecast around Billings. Our Billings area forecast is brought to you by Jade Furman of Landmark Realtors, MontanaProperty.com at 1925 Grand Avenue in Billings. She'll provide a market analysis to clients wanting to list and sell their home, including specialized consulting in current trends in color or styles and modifications. Jade Furman of Landmark Realtors, MontanaProperty.com. Just a chance of some isolated snow showers for Tuesday and Tuesday nights, and 33 for a high this afternoon. It'll be about 40 or so for Wednesday, Thursday, on into Friday. And then Saturday looks to be closer to 50, 49 to 52 in Billings for Saturday, 45 for Super Bowl Sunday. A forecast from Broughton Construction and Home Repair. No job too big or too small. Trustworthy, knowledgeable. Trust the Broughton family. Broughton Construction and Home Repair. BRAATON. Search them out on Facebook.
Call or email your Livin Large Larry Live show ideas. Larry at livinlargelarry.com and 1-888-858-1408.
Thanks to KTVQ.com, Color8.com, and the Billings Gazettes. We utilize those sources for gathering our news stories on Livin Large Larry Live. The Billings Morning News from Rimrock Flooring at rimrockflooringmt.com. They have 3 stores for better buying power for you. 1440 Central Avenue, Rimrock Flooring. Bozeman police are investigating the death of a Montana State University student Saturday night. According to a press release from the Gallatin County Coroner's Office, emergency medical services were called to a business on Gallatin Park Drive in Bozeman Saturday night. A man and a woman were found by employees of the business and were unresponsive. The man was taken to Bozeman Deaconess. A 20-year-old woman, identified as Natalie Dietrich of Billings, was pronounced dead at the scene. Her death remains under investigation by the coroner's office and the Bozeman Police Department's forensic exam is scheduled for early next week. Teresa Caputo, the star of the TV show Long Island Medium, is coming to Billings for a show in April. Caputo's TV show on TLC has been on the air for several years. On the show, Caputo claims to communicate with dead people and tries to help loved ones by passing messages to and from them. 7:30 p.m. show in Billings is scheduled for Saturday, April 9th at the Rimrock Auto Arena at Metro Park. Tickets start at $39.75, and they go on sale this coming Friday at 10 a.m., and can be purchased at metropark.com. Caputo appeared, by the way, in Great Falls last year, and tickets for that show sold out in 3 hours. Yellowstone County and the Federal Emergency Management Agency will be hosting 2 public information meetings about how people can reduce their flood insurance premiums. The meetings will be held February 10th at the Yellowstone Valley Electric Cooperative Building, 150 Cooperative Way in Huntley, and February 11th at Metro Park in the Yellowstone Room at the grandstands. Both meetings will begin at 7 p.m. There will be 2 presentations each meeting. The first presentation begins at 7:15. The second begins at 8:15 p.m. A FEMA representative and county floodplain representatives will give short presentations and answer questions as well. Burger Dive chef and owner Brad Halston is returning this month to the Food Network and Cooking Channel's South Beach Wine and Food Festival as a judge this time. Halston won in 2014 with a burger called the Blackened Sabbath. Halston said he got the invitation about a month ago, but decided to make an announcement on social media on Monday because the February 26th event was drawing closer. Accompanying Halston will be his wife, Andy Halston, the general manager at the Burger Dive. It's a pretty big event. Rachel Ray is set to host the event. It'll take place along the beach behind the Ritz-Carlton South Beach Hotel. Halston used the Blackened Sabbath name for the competition back in 2014 because of the similar ingredients and the cleverness of the name, which is a play on Black Sabbath, Ozzy Osbourne's rock band. Acclaim for the burger was so high that Red Robin added a burger inspired by Halston to its menu. It's called the Big Sky Burger. Congratulations to Brad Halston in the limelight again. The Billings Morning News from Rimrock Flooring at 1440 Central Avenue, rimrockflooringmt.com. They belong to known buying groups to help keep the costs down and pass those savings along to you. Rimrock Flooring, 1440 Central Avenue. You can find them on Facebook too. All kinds of blinds and Billings. All kinds of blinds, mt.com. Temperature check 23, about 33 today. 50 by Saturday again in Billings. Back to your barber days, Jim and Austin's Barbershop, 2225 Main in the Heights, trained barbers and even straight razor shaves. Jim and Austin's Barbershop, $10 haircut, the best ever in the Heights and Billings. So at the end of last year, for this year, 50 new laws were approved for the 2016 tax season. Do you know them all? Lisa Woods at Woods Accounting does, and she can guide you through it. Lisa Woods, make her your accountant for personal, for your family, for your business. Woods Accounting at 1211 Grand Avenue, suite number 4 in Billings, woodsaccounting.com. And by the way, Obamacare, what does that mean for you and your taxes? Lisa Woods, Woods Accounting can let you know that. woodsaccounting.com. An encore visit with Chris Dixon, head coach of the Billings Wolves, who start their 2016 campaign here in Billings. Rimrock Auto Arena on the 20th of February. Coming up just a couple of weeks away. Looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to being the on-field MC for most of the home games this year for the 2016 Billings Wolves. Chris Dixon was in the studio live yesterday, and we saved the audio. We'll play that back for you if you missed it yesterday. Coming up in just a second here. LivinLargeLarry.com for YouTube, and don't forget to download that TuneIn mobile phone app for your Androids or iPhones. It's a free smartphone download. TuneIn is one word, TuneIN, TuneIn app. That's free. It's the largest radio station app in the world, and we're honored to be part of that with Livin Large Larry Live. It's a broadcast from the Red Line Computer Studios in West Billings, right across the street from the Goodwill store here in Billings, Montana. Welcome worldwide to the show. I'm kind of getting used to N2 cryotherapy. Carrie and I went for our 3rd or 4th visit over the weekend. N2 cryotherapy, wellness therapy, has been in Billings since last July with Cindy Graff and her team over at N2 Cryotherapy, 805 24th Street West, number 4. If you've got aches and pains, if you've got arthritis, if you're an athlete, this is the perfect routine as part of your pre or post workout. N2 Cryotherapy, give them a try. N2cryo.com, again in Billings at 805 24th Street West, number 4. N2 Cryotherapy.
Join us at 1-888-858-1408.
We'll log on to the Red Lodge Mountain website and check out the snow report coming up a little later on here during the show. Livin Large Larry Live from the Red Line Computer Studios. All kinds of blinds and Billings. Temp check 22 now, 33 in Billings for a high. A revisit with head coach of the Billings Wolves, Chris Dixon, from yesterday's show. LivinLargeLarry.com. All right, Livin Large Larry Live and LivinLargeLarry.com. Remember, there's no G ever on Livin. LivinLargeLarry.com or on YouTube. You can click on YouTube there. Also, on your smartphones. Just download the TuneIn app for iPhones and Androids for the show. Today, and as promised, Chris Dixon, head coach of the Billings Wolves and of Chris Dixon Sports. That's what your company's name, right?
Yep, yes it is.
Are you excited about your new company? I've been following you on Facebook.
I am.
And I knew that you would venture out and do something in addition to coaching the Billings Wolves. So talk a little bit about Chris Dixon Sports, how long it's been out in the infancy stages, and what we can expect helping kids around this area.
Well, it's been out since we've been starting up since like December. We've been trying to get everything rolling. It's been a plan for like a year.
Yeah,
and
good.
It's been, going. It's a lot of great things coming up for the kids. We have and what Chris Dixon Sports is, it's a sports company trying to build youth sports in Billings. Of course, my focus is football, but I got a couple of other ventures.
I've seen you play basketball. You're okay. You're all right.
We're gonna eventually come out with a AAU travel basketball team.
Oh, that'd be
We're working
cool.
on that right now. It's in the works. A big time thing. We're gonna try to get these kids, and the focus is to get these kids an opportunity to go to college. There's so many things and so many reasons why kids don't finish what they start.
Right.
And a lot of kids go to high school and don't even finish.
I know a lot of adults that do that too. By the way.
But a lot of kids go to high school and play sports and just say this is as far as I'm gonna go, when they really don't know the opportunities that's out there. Sometimes sports, going to college, ain't just about trying to go to the NFL
Right.
or the NBA. Sometimes it's networking. A lot of guys that I grew up with didn't go to the NBA or the NFL, but they networked while they were playing sports, and now they're able to do other things they want to do with
Sure.
their life. Sports gave me an opportunity. I mean, my life ain't just built on sports. It helped me network and, meet some great people, yourself included. And, I want to offer that opportunity, same opportunity to some kids. Sometimes
Was there a gap in that before Chris Dixon Sports launched? Do you feel there was in this in Billings area? Do you feel there was a gap in that focus for kids?
Yes, and I thought the other gap was specific training for a sport like football. Kids at a young age don't know the significance of training for a sport for the season.
Right.
Getting your body ready.
Sure.
And I want to teach them that. I want to teach them how to get their bodies ready, how to, stay focused, and they get a chance to learn the game of football from someone who's been through what they've been through and beyond.
Yeah.
And to offer that opportunity year round instead of just in the summer, or now I'm offering the opportunity for kids to just train year round. If you're not playing another sport, you should be doing something.
Right.
We always screaming 60 minutes a day, get out and play 60 minutes a day, but really, where do we offer them to play for 60 minutes a day? And now with this way, it's not just about training the adult. It's about getting the kids to be healthy for the future as well. So it's a big thing to me.
So when this is all set and organized, and you get your kids involved, where will they be working out and taking direction from?
We're going to be at the Billings Sportsplex. Okay. We'll be doing full-time training over there. They'll learn from me. They'll learn from some other coaches I have, professional football players. We'll every year, starting this year, we'll be doing a high school combine. It's a showcase for them to have the opportunity to get in front of college coaches and show their abilities. We're going to do different little tournaments for kids, learning how to compete at a young age. We're always saying fun, but, kids, as they get older and get into middle school, high school, they don't know how to win and lose.
The right way.
That's taken out. Yeah, the right way. That's taken out these days. And, we need to get back to the little things, teaching them, how to compete, and not compete in the way of, the parents taking over it, but the kids learning how to compete on a level that they can still enjoy it, but learning how to compete and seeing it score and saying, I got to work harder, or just teaching them those things.
As a dad, back when I'm still a dad of my kids, but they're 21 and 19 now, but back when they were kids, back in the Thunderbolt days of football here in Billings, My biggest challenge as a dad in coaching my kids and their friends in sports was to learn to lose the right way. Because, you always want to win and stuff, but there's a teaching mechanism for teaching kids how to lose the right way, and that it's okay to lose once in a while. You have to.
Yeah, and the biggest thing, it's you don't preach you lost, because that's negative.
Wow.
We lost. What you preach is, can we learn from this and get better from this? I coached the youth team this year in the Mighty Football League, and we lost. And the kids cried, and the first thing I said to them is, don't allow this to hurt you. Allow this to fuel you. And that's what I preach, to kids every day.
Well, you've learned a lot you were saying before we went on the air live that you've been in Billings now for around 10 years. And over those 10 years, you're an adult, but even over those 10 years, you've learned a lot in which to develop a company called Chris Dixon Sports to this level. So you've learned over the last 10 years and beyond that before you came to Billings, I'm sure.
Right. And the thing about Chris Dixon Sports is not just learned now, but it's been a lifetime building type of company. And what it is, I've been through almost every situation a youth athlete can ever go through. Remember, I grew up with a single mother. I grew up leaving my mother's house at the age of 12, going to live with my aunties and uncles. I grew up, going through high school, and I didn't go to the best high school. My high school today just found somebody, I think it was last week, with a gun, weed, everything on them. That's my high school.
Where was that at?
Richmond High School in California. And then you go, having a baby at the age of 18. I had a baby young, and still going off to college. I have a degree. So there's so many scenarios that these young people go through today that I've been through. I've been married. I've been through a life full of.
You got a cool family, though.
I got a lifetime full of stuff.
Yeah,
Man, and I got different mothers, and but I take care of all my kids, and I have them, and I spend time with them, and I'm the first one to tell an athlete or a young guy, hey, don't do it the way I did it. Yep. Don't get married, do those things, and I tell my kids all the time, I went through the worst for you to have the best, and understand and appreciate the best, because you know what, I didn't have it growing up, and so. That's the communication. But, to get these kids to understand what life is about, you have to experience what they've been through as well. A lot of parents has never experienced what some of their kids experience. I know a lot of parents who, single mothers who come through both of their parents being married. Mm-hmm. They got to raise a kid as a single mother, and they trying to do things their parents did when they were married, but don't understand that there's a lot of things that you've never been through that you're trying to think your child is thinking the same way or doing the same thing. Or a father, who thinks life's over because him and the mother ain't together, but don't really understand that you have rights too. There's things you can have and still be in your child's life and enjoy your child without being with their mother.
You've been through the battles in life, and as you were talking, I was thinking that with Chris Dixon Sports and mentoring for kids, and it's I can tell it's not going to be all about sports, because when you deal with kids, age 5 to 17, let's say, you're going to be doing some counseling as well on life.
Right, and that's what we're building. I'm not like my slogan is competitive focus in the right direction. If you learn how to compete with yourself, you'll take that focus. So if I say I want to be the best football player, well, I'm gonna focus on that, and how do I become the best? And I'm gonna read about it. I'm gonna train about. I'm gonna do things that the best did.
Right.
And that becomes my focus. So if I'm focused on being the best football player I can be, I don't worry about what the world gives me, because now that takes me in a direction I should go. But if I'm focused on being the best, scientist I can be, well, everything else is irrelevant. I'm not worried about anything negative that's going on in the world. I'm gonna go focus on what I'm trying to do in my life, and that's what we trying to preach in general. We're built on bringing athletes in and those type of things, but when they leave me and leave my company and go off to live in life, I want them to be better leaders, fathers, mothers, people, you know, and understand that no matter what they go through in life, it will never defeat them. They can always win. They can always, long as they compete with themselves and fight through it, they'll be just fine.
Jeez, you have come a long way since you moved to Billings. We were talking before we went on the air again. You did some math, and it's about 10 years or so. How do you see your growth from 10 years ago in Billings playing football? And what keeps you living in Billings, Montana? You could go anywhere. You know that, Chris Dixon.
I love Billings for, you know, many reasons, but two come to mind real quick. One is it's a town that comes together in a time of tragedy really well.
I.e. the tornadoes a couple of years ago.
And then it's a town that you know, my kids love.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when my kid who lived in California came to Billings and wanted to move to Billings.
Says a lot.
Says a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, he lives in California.
Yeah.
I mean, there's everything in the Bay Area.
I can picture that. We're moving to Billings, and the kid at his age says, "I'm going to hate it there."
Mm-hmm.
The attitude of "I'm going to hate it there," and now he's glad to be moved.
He loved it. He goes to Central.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. He's an athlete in his own right too.
Yeah, he's doing his own thing, man. I stay out of the way.
Yeah.
Hey, do you? And
I see you in the stands, though. You cheer for him. Though.
Yeah, but if you need me, I'm here.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna be a number one fan
Right.
because you know I'm a father.
Right.
You know, but outside of that, it's about him. You know, his sports is his sports. I call him his sports because it's his time.
His own identity.
Yeah, and it's not like I tell him all the time. I've done what I wanted to do athletically. It's your turn.
That's
take
awesome.
this where you want to take it.
Good
I
guidance.
just want to support you.
Sure.
You know, but like I tell them, don't wake me up at 5 a.m. wanting to train and never taking it to the field.
Right.
That's our rule in my house.
Let's turn to IFL football. Billings Wolves season number 2 coming up at Rimrock Auto Arena. But there was some news over the weekend, or probably late last week, that you and your team found out about the Minnesota Havoc no longer in the IFL.
Well, it's a little shocking. Like I was telling you before we got on air, you know, we went to the coaches meeting and they seemed on board. Everything seemed fine. And within 24 days, I wouldn't even call it 30. Within 24 days, I mean, everything out there was changing about them.
What happened?
And then I don't know. I still don't know.
Operational issues. But
man,
that's pretty big.
I got it just like you guys got it, that they were leaving, and you know our schedule was changing again. You know, the only thing I was worried about was the dates. Like, you know, you start planning things.
Right.
Like,
we have already.
Yeah. And so we none of our dates changed. You know, all of our home games are the same. We just got different opponents. And
cool. It works. I checked the schedule, and it looks like it's going to be intact. And I think that the fans are looking forward to season number 2. Today's February 1st. Big date in Wolves
officially
history.
Today we can start camp. So yeah, you'll see guys rolling in today. We get started Wednesday. We start with physicals, meetings, and then our first day of practice is Thursday morning, 8 a.m. And we're excited. We're gonna have an 8 a.m. kind of like a conditioning practice,
right?
And then that night, we always practice in the evening. We'll get started with our first real, you know, practice with the guys on the field, focusing on football.
Do you guys practice always indoors?
Always indoors at the sportsplex.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, because I guess that's the atmosphere.
Yeah, and I'm sending out a schedule for our practices today.
Are those open?
Mm-hmm. We have 3 open practices
for
this
the
year.
fans
So generally two of them are Sunday, and I think one is a Friday.
Yeah, they'll be publicized, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to those.
Because we have a big scrimmage February 14th. It's Happy Valentine's Day. So we're going to get up at 9 a.m. and have a scrimmage. And then
where will that scrimmage be at?
Live your life at the Sportsplex. Everything's at the Plex right now.
This is going to be exciting. Season number 2 for the Billings Wolves. And what do you see at the end of last season? The fans stuck by you, win or lose. So there was some great guidance there. In me being a fan with the Billings Wolves, what do you see the difference from last season going into this year? What'd you learn?
We need to develop a system. And, you know, that's one thing we focused on this off season is developing a system. Me as a coach, you know, there's going to be things different this year about me than it was last year. Last year, I felt like I had to teach guys how to be professionals, teach guys how to play the game. This year, I could just be coach.
Oh, because you've learned a little bit yourself.
I mean, I could be a little bit. I could let them do it. You know, it's kind of like guiding your little brother. You know, you take them so far, and then it's like, I'm going to be big brother now and just watch and let you develop. You know, let you go through,
Sure.
you know, leading the other little brother. You know, and so we finally got some leadership. I feel like going into this year, you know, we got some leadership. I think of it like this. Last year I had a blank piece of paper. No writing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Nothing on it.
Season 1.
Did not know anything about anybody. And we built a team. People was like, oh, we got so much change and turnover. We're not letting them develop. Well, I feel like if I would have let some guys stay around for so long last year, it would have hurt us, not help us. It would have hurt our growth. We wasn't growing in the beginning of the year.
Right.
So that's why the changes came. And then once we finally grew, we finally got some guys in here who we feel can help us, not short term, but long term.
End of the day, that's the goal.
That's the goal.
You gotta
We
grow the
wanted to
team.
come into this season with some experience and some guys we wanted to keep around, some guys we needed to keep around, and not just build on the field, but some guys we can have around off the field. The key to winning isn't just about winning on the field, because we're not just built as the Billings Wolves, the players, coaching. We're built as Billings Wolves, the city. Billings first,
Billings Wolves.
Wolves second.
Yeah.
And so last year was about bringing in Billings, keeping Billings, and keep bringing them in this year. But now it's built on the Wolves. And so how did we do both? Well, now the city, as you said, at the end of the season, win or lose, stayed with us, which was great. Now we built that. And now we have some leadership and some players who you know, I know, everybody knows. We have now that built. Now the key is taking it one step, one day at a time, getting better together. So the turnover I had last year, I won't have that big of a turnover. I mean, I had 5 quarterbacks to get to Dak Britt.
Holy criminy.
I had 16 different receivers play last year. But out of all that, I mean, you got to think I had 11 offensive linemen. I got, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you don't think about it, but I do. And there's things I got.
That's your job.
Yeah, and to understand why you had all that, you got to understand your rhyme or reasoning to getting there.
But if you had, here's my analogy when I want to do something like this: is I always line up 10 people, virtual people, in front of me. I think 9 would understand that turnover in a first league like the IFL Billings Wolves last year, and like you mentioned, turnover was going to happen. I think they accept that. As a fan, when there was major turnover again and again and again, as a fan, I'm thinking that's just part of growing your team. I would hope that 9 out of 10 fans would know that in front of you.
And if you looked at us, though, I mean, if you really look at us, break us down. Don't just say, oh, they lost.
Right.
I mean, let's break down the last year. 3 overtime games.
Yeah.
Okay, 2 games we lost in the last minute.
Those
I'm talking about.
You're right.
So that's. I mean, we went 5 and 9.
And that could have gone very easily the other way.
Right.
With those.
Think about it. We went in every game. Every game we were winning at some point. We were winning in the game. So, our first 0-5 start, we lost 2 overtime games, and 2 in the last minute. So
that's tough too.
If you really want to break us down, we competed last year when we wasn't expected to.
Right.
We wasn't expected to even be a team that on everybody's radar. But if you think about the end of the season, we won 4 out of 5, which
that was exciting.
Which the one we lost, we were winning with 30 seconds left.
Yes, with all those little bullet points you mentioned, if those went the other way, oh my.
But no, if we were a year older,
yeah, which you are now,
maybe those games go another way. You got to think, Dak Britt went through 3 overtimes last year. So when the overtime maybe come up this year,
he knows how to handle it.
We'll be handling it. I, as a coach, went through the ups and downs. You got to remember, as a coach, as a player, I lost more games last year as a coach than I did as a player in 5 years in the IFL.
That's different for Chris Dixon.
I mean, that's different.
Yeah.
You know, like when you, in my career in the IFL, I've lost 5 games. 5 games. That's all we won last year. Right. But, I mean, so.
Being a coach, you take off a different chunk of football. Being a coach.
And this is what I tell everybody. Going into this year, this is truly becoming the first year of Chris Dixon, the coach. I mean, you got to remember, last year was like Peyton Manning and Brock Osweiler. Okay.
Montana boy.
Even though I didn't play, I was still teaching a young quarterback how to be a quarterback.
Yep.
Now, I can be Gary Kubiak, and Dak can be the quarterback.
That's an understandable analogy. That's
Now I can say, all right, this is what we're running today. You got to lead your team. I don't have to go show him how to do it. He knows.
Wasn't there a time last year? This probably didn't sound like a joke. Wasn't there times last year? I was sitting 5 rows back at midfield. I watched how you guys worked. Come on, Chris. Didn't you want to strap on the helmet, put a mouth guard in, go out there and toss the ball around?
No, I toss the ball around every day in practice.
As fans, we were telling you to go in.
I know, man, and I couldn't.
You
but
take it with a grain of salt.
And a lot of people say you're only 34 years old.
Yeah,
you can still
play
get
ball.
on the field.
Yeah.
And physically, a lot of people see me play around, do flag football. Man, you can still. Honestly, my goal in life is to give to somebody else. It ain't about me.
You've done your playing days, and you're okay with that.
I don't even reflect on it on my playing days anymore.
Do you like following players in the IFL? Not just with the Billings Wolves or the old Outlaws or whatever, but do you like following IFL players that make it to the NFL?
I do. I always talk to a couple of guys because I played against them, and
happens.
Some of them ask me all the time, like, man, how did you get your work ethic and those type of things. I mean, I'm also a mentor to a lot of indoor football quarterbacks that we talk or they Facebook me and those type of things, and ask me how you win so many MVPs, championships, those type of things. And so that's what I'm saying. Chris Dixon Sports ain't just built on just the youth. I mean, I deal with people nationally. Every day I get a phone call from quarterbacks, different players that want to be great and always asking me questions. So
you love that part.
I do. I do, man. I love giving back.
Well, I'm glad that Chris Dixon Sports is here. It's launched. I think that your business plan is perfect. It's understandable, and I wish you huge success. Dwan Edwards, I saw something on Facebook the other day. How do you know Dwan, and how that relationship?
Me and Dwan got to know each other about 6 years ago, and he was doing a camp, and he asked me to help him out, and I was playing. It was when I was here playing, and I was like, yeah. Since that day, we've just been cool. I talked to him about yesterday.
Yeah.
He had called me and we were talking. I told him congrats, and his focus is to keep building, and I think he's done a great job. I think his camp will be back this summer. It wasn't here last year, but it'll be back this summer, and he got some great things going on that to help Montana as well. And so we've been talking about hooking up and doing some things together and giving back to the kids of Billings.
So who do you root for, Panthers or the Broncos?
It's rough.
I know.
It's a rough situation,
I
man.
do that 'cause I
and
saw
I
your
told him on the
Facebook
phone. This is what I told him on the phone. I said, hey, man.
Be real.
I love you, man, but I'm a big Bronco fan too, and it's rough. He's like, I know everybody in Montana like that. So, we had a good conversation.
Well, guess
about
what,
it.
Chris?
But
not everybody in Montana follows the Broncos. Kerry and I actually, we respect the Broncos. We're fans of the Kansas City Chiefs.
No,
don't you have some? Isn't there some history with the Chiefs in your family too?
Trayvon, he's a Chief fan. Yeah, I tell Trey, man, every time we gonna beat y'all. But my house is weird.
Yeah.
I got a weird house.
Really?
So I'm a Bronco.
Right.
Trey is a Chief. Krishan's a Panther. Donovan is a Seahawk. My daughter's a Bronco. My girlfriend's a Cowboy.
Oh, that's.
We have a terrible house. I'm telling you.
Jerseys on the couch.
But I tell them, if it ain't blue and orange, it is not being hung in my house.
When you were in California, though, have you been a Bronco?
Always
fan?
been a Bronco fan.
Serious? When you were a kid?
John Elway, baby.
Really?
Where you from?
Wow. I love Elway.
California. He's a California kid.
Yeah,
Stanford,
I know. Yeah.
Granada Hills. Yep.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. I'm glad.
So, and I'm a Cal Berkeley fan, and I hated Elway because he was a Stanford.
Jeez.
So, my life is weird, man. I don't like anything L.A. And so when I was growing up, the Raiders were in L.A.
You didn't care?
I didn't like the Raiders. No, I didn't like them. They're L.A. Raiders.
You was a Bronco fan, of course.
Like I used to kind of like the Rams. I hate them now. They're in L.A. Anything L.A., you would not give me to like an L.A. team, because it's just that rivalry. You got to think California's 2 states.
You think Chargers will come back to go to?
No, they if they fans don't do it this year, they're gone. It's
So
about
one
the
more
fans.
season in San Diego.
Yeah, they got one more. They're gonna go one more year in San Diego. Is the way I'm being told.
Give it a try. Yeah, hopefully that's not.
Well, the Raiders gonna lose a lot of fan base.
Yeah.
They go to San Antonio or Vegas.
There's a lot of Raiders fans in Billings,
Mhm.
which you've seen. I'm sure.
Well, that's worldwide. Raiders
Yeah.
probably got the biggest fan base. Them and the Steelers.
Raider Nation.
Yeah.
No, but I've been even through the bad years. My whole
Mhm.
family's been Chiefs fans. The kids were born out there. We lived out there. We've been Chiefs fans for our whole life, and even back when I was a kid, my brother, back in the Len Dawson days, my brother is a Chiefs fan. He got me turned on to it. All right, Billings Wolves first game February 20th, and are the Storm the one of the big rivals for the Wolves?
We're not a rival yet.
No
we have
rivals.
to. We have to earn that.
You got to
right.
earn the right.
We have to earn that right to become a rivalry with the Storm. In order to call yourself a rivalry, you got to compete in that rivalry. And we're not worried about the Storm right now. This year, we're not focused on anybody else but ourselves. That's one thing we're preaching. We're not looking for the future. As a group,
Right.
I'm not. A lot of people might think I'm crazy, but we're not preaching a lot of things that most people think I should preach this year.
Well, you're the coach, not us.
Yeah, and so
respect
we're
that.
gonna change. We're gonna change a lot about what we do this year, and a lot of people. And I don't want to talk about it really. I want you to see it.
Sure.
And
Can't
once
wait.
you see it, you'll understand. At the end of the year, we'll have our normal conversation, and if we do well, you'll understand. And I'll break down what we did this year.
Fair
but
enough.
we're gonna do a lot of different things this year, and we're gonna preach a different way. I had a whole off season of reading. Let me tell you.
I bet you're off.
It was and it wasn't just focused on recruiting. It was focused on reading. To read from some of the greatest leaders in the world, not just coaches and athletes, but the world leaders. And how did they get in these positions they got in, and what took them there? It's amazing.
That's a lot of work in the offseason.
It is, man. Let me tell you, I have never done so
Read
much
that
reading.
much?
Not even in
Really?
college.
Yeah.
I
Wow.
didn't do this much reading, and to learn some of the things I've learned this year. I'm excited. I am. I mean, we're already implementing things. I got a coaching staff that grinds every day. We talk all the time. So
I was at the Billings Wolves open house a couple weeks ago at the Rimrock Auto Arena, and I was, they're hanging out with you guys and just kind of watching your team, and how they interact with the youth and even adults.
Mhm.
And the team members that were there seem pretty approachable, which is what.
so we're gonna be it's gonna be a good year.
Well, I'm part of the Wolves too,
Oh yeah.
I'll be your MC on the field. Most
Well,
of the home
you
season.
gotta have a voice, man.
I'm gonna-
The
well,
energy.
I'm-
We need your energy,
And
man. You're a feeder.
I may be giving you crap on the mic once in a while.
Hey, I don't
take
mind.
Don't take it personally.
I could take it.
Well, luckily we've known each other for years, so you'll know that's just Larry just doing his BS. So, all right, Chris Dixon, looking forward to it. What's your website for Chris Dixon Sports?
ChrisDixonSports.com.
Jeez, that's so easy. ChrisDixonSports.com. Fair enough. I'm proud of you.
Thank
and I
you.
know your business will do well. And just so you know, you guys had as Wolves, you had about 20,000 fans last year. No pressure, but I bet those and more come back this year for you.
Well, let's go after 60 Billings. Let's
Whoa.
do it.
Okay.
Let's do it. The Billings,
Put
I'm
the
calling
number
you
out
out. This is our year.
Put
We
the
want the
number out there.
Billings. They got a big award in the IFL called Fan Base of the Year. Let's win it.
Ah,
Let's win it.
now we know that.
Let's win it.
All right, Chris Dixon, excited for Billings Wolves Season 2, Rimrock Auto Arena. Good to have you on our show.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time. And we'll get back together again. Livin Large Larry live. Livin Large Larry. LivinLargeLarry.com. Catch us on YouTube as well. And the TuneIn mobile app for your smartphones, iPhones, and your Droids and Blackberries is all information all at LivinLargeLarry.com, including you can watch us live on YouTube right now, and also the YouTube becomes the podcasts during our replay, sponsored by Keystone Mortgage in their new location, downtown Billings. Keystone Mortgage. All kinds of blinds and Billings, all kinds of blindsmt.com. Our temperature check here this morning, the 2nd of February, 2016 from Billings is 23. Complete forecast on the way to be about 33 or so for today.
Call or email your Livin Large Larry Live show ideas. Larry at livinlargelarry.com and 1-888-858-1408. We'll
have weather and the Billings Morning News coming coming up in a few minutes here. Livin Large Larry Live. LivinLargeLarry.com.
Livin' Large Larry Live from the Redline Computer Studios next to the Dollar Tree off of King Avenue West in Billings, Montana. This is Livin' Large Larry Live.
We broadcast out of the Redline Computer Studios, West Billings, Montana, across the street from the Goodwill store, next to the Dollar Tree and the Wave Car Wash off of King and 29th West in Billings, Montana, to a worldwide audience. And most of the audience is from Montana and the Billings area, the Billings surrounding communities. Appreciate you hanging in with us at livinlargelarry.com, where you can click on YouTube and watch and hear the show. And then that becomes the podcast after the live portion of the show. Our YouTube podcast, our replay is courtesy of Keystone Mortgage in Billings. It just moved in the process, moving from the Heights to downtown Billings. And the new location right across the street from the pub station, downtown Billings. And they're open there. You can go check it out and check out the new redesigns and the much larger, spacious space. Keystone Mortgage, our replay sponsor. Red Lodge Mountain Snow Reports. You can log on and get a deep report, if you will, at redlodgemountain.com. But the report on the show here, courtesy of Mike Hines, Realtor with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Floburg Real Estate. You can call or text Mike Hines, 406-697-9031 here in Billings. About 20 inches of snow at Mid-Mountain at Red Lodge. It's been pretty consistent since the opening on the day after Thanksgiving. They've opened, so they could use a little more snow. Most of the lifts are open. Magic Carpet, Miami Beach is open. Triple Chair, Grizzly Peak, and Willow Creek, Cold Creek Quad, and Palisades Quad are still closed at Red Lodge Mountain. Forecast for snowboarding and skiing today at Red Lodge. If you're up and about getting set for that, that'd be nice for snowboard and skiing. 20 inches, not too bad, all groomed up for you. Be about 21 and some snow as you snowboard and ski today in Red Lodge. It's the base reports, and I get a more in-depth report. Log on to redlodgemountain.com. Report on the show. Livin' Large Larry Live from Mike Hines, Realtor with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Floburg Real Estate. We'll check our forecasts and get to another Billings Morning Newscast coming up in a minute or so. Livin' Large Larry Live at livinlargelarry.com. All kinds of blinds in Billings, all kinds of blindsmt.com. Temperature check 22 now. We could see a little snow in our forecast around Billings. Our Billings area forecast is brought to you by Jade Furman of Landmark Realtors, MontanaProperty.com at 1925 Grand Avenue in Billings. She'll provide a market analysis to clients wanting to list and sell their home, including specialized consulting in current trends in color or styles and modifications. Jade Furman of Landmark Realtors, MontanaProperty.com. Just a chance of some isolated snow showers for Tuesday and Tuesday nights, and 33 for a high this afternoon. It'll be about 40 or so for Wednesday, Thursday, on into Friday. And then Saturday looks to be closer to 50, 49 to 52 in Billings for Saturday, 45 for Super Bowl Sunday. Our forecast from Broughton Construction and Home Repair. No job too big or too small. Trustworthy, knowledgeable. Trust the Broughton family. Broughton Construction and Home Repair. Braaton. Search them out on Facebook. Jim and Outson's Barbershop, 2225 Main in the Heights. Closed on Mondays. They're back at it today. $10 haircuts. Jim and Outson's Barbershop, 2225 Main in the Heights. And a week from today, so next Tuesday, February 9th, is Mardi Gras, Montana. Billings Food Bank, little menu, and so that's still. Just so you know, it changes. You go every year to the Mardi Gras, Montana Billings Food Bank. It's normally at the Billings Hotel. Change of venue. It'll be at the Holiday Inn Grand Montana Convention Center for Billings. Holiday Inn Grand Montana instead of at livinlargelarry.com and on YouTube as well. We had a really great testimonial about N2 cryotherapy here in Billings from one of N2 cryotherapy's customers. Cindy Graff brought Jed Porter into our studio to talk of his N2 cryotherapy success, and you'll hear the interview from time to time. But N2 cryotherapy, new wellness therapy that's in Billings, new to Billings anyway. N2 cryotherapy, 805 24th Street West in Billings, and log on for appointments. More about cryotherapy at n2cryo.com. If I could sing, I'd sing to the rooftops about Brown's Automotive. Over 60 years now in Billings. Brown's Automotive, we use them, and there's 4 convenient locations. Brown's Auto Service on Broadwater, Brown's West Auto Service at the corner of Rosebud and 20th Street West, and 2 downtown locations, Automatic Transmission Company at 13th Street North and 1st Avenue North downtown, and Brown's Rebuild Center downtown at 18th Street North and 2nd Avenue North. And it's tune-ups, tire alignments, complete auto repairs, transmission specialist. Over 60 years in Billings. Brown's Automotive, brownsautobillings.com. All kinds of blinds in Billings. Temperature check, allkindsofblindsmt.com. 22 now, about 33 for a high in Billings. Get a 5-day look at the forecast at livinlargelarry.com. Click on the weather button there. Mike Hines, Realtor with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Floberg Real Estate here in Billings. The Red Lodge Mountain Snow Report sponsor. Snowboarding and skiing today should be good. 20 inches up at the mid-mountain, all groomed before you're ready to go. Be 21 as you do your snow sports today. Be 21, and snow showers expected in Red Lodge. They can use those as the 2 quads, Coal Creek and Palisades, lifts are still closed. All the other lifts are going, so full bore at Red Lodge, redlodgemountain.com for a deeper look at the snow reports. Mentioned Mardi Gras, Montana coming up 1 week from today. February 9th, Mardi Gras time. Mardi Gras, Montana for the Billings Food Bank over at the Holiday Inn Grand Montana this year, not the Billings Hotel. Just a change of venue there. We'll have Cheryl Shandy from the Billings Food Bank on the show next Tuesday morning to talk up the last-minute details for Mardi Gras, Montana for the Billings Food Bank. Again, that's next Tuesday, a week from today. Judge Pedro Hernandez back as celebrity MC. Joe Hayes will be the auctioneer this year. And what a menu. Of course, we'll have the 2 big boats on either side of the convention center with all kinds of seafood, of course, and the menu itself. Bacon wrapped filet with shrimp, garlic sauce, the Crayola stuffed pasta shell, of course, a king's cake, all of for the Billings Food Bank. Mardi Gras, Montana, next Tuesday, February 9th in Billings. Livin Large Larry live worldwide at livinlargelarry.com for our show. The Billings Morning News from Rimrock Flooring at 1440 Central Avenue in Billings, and on Facebook, rimrockflooringmt.com. Check out their website and shop at their 5,000 square foot showroom. It's nice to go into a showroom that you can actually move around and see the items that you are potentially going to purchase. Rimrock Flooring in Billings, 1440 Central Avenue. With the use of KTVQ.com, Color8.com, the Billings Gazette, here's the Billings Morning News. A Shoto man says he is prepared to admit to killing a bald eagle. Federal court documents filed in December allege that David Carlson shot a bald eagle in March of 2015 at his residence near Shoto. Court documents state he became concerned about hawks and eagles killing his bunnies. Carlson cut off the bald eagle's talons and gave them to a farmhand before throwing the carcass into a field. The eagle carcass was never found by officials, but the United States Fish and Wildlife Service identified talons given to that farmhand. Carlson initially pleaded not guilty to the charge, then later filed a motion to enter a guilty plea. He is set to appear again at the Missouri River Courthouse in Great Falls this week. Thomas Jessberger, charged with animal cruelty, was sentenced on Friday to 12 years with the Montana Department of Corrections. Jessberger, one of 2 former owners of Rocky Acres Horse Rescue out of Helena or near Helena, was sentenced in Broadwater County District. Jessberger and Daylene Rindall were charged with 34 felony counts 2 years ago after more than 30 malnourished horses were removed from their property north of Townsend. Rindall is scheduled to go to trial March 7th on the same charges. A Billings man is accused of raping a teenage girl in her sleep. Rusty Wagner, he's 39, was set to make his initial appearance Monday afternoon in Yellowstone County Justice Court on the charge of sexual intercourse without consent. The 14-year-old victim had been working on a trailer with her mother on October 16th, 2014. The girl's mother asked Wagner to go check on her daughter. When Wagner arrived at the trailer, he helped the girl set up the television, and then she fell asleep. The girl told investigators she woke to Wagner molesting her and that he had sex with her against her will. Hours later, Wagner allegedly raped the girl again. The victim told her mother about the attack in the morning and was taken to the hospital. A sexual assault exam and DNA collection allegedly connect Wagner to the assaults. Wagner's being held at the Yellowstone County Jail on a bond of $50,000. The University of Montana is welcoming a new professor this year who combines the stethoscope with the spatula. The College of Health Professions and Biomedical Sciences welcomes Dr. Michael Fenster, who you may recognize from his own cable TV cooking show, What's Cookin' with Doc. Fenster will work with the Missoula College Culinary Arts program to provide what he feels is a necessary bridge between food and science. In a lecture at the Medical Grand Rounds event at University of Montana on Friday, he spoke of the importance of eating red meat to help lower bad cholesterol. The Billings Morning News from Rimrock Flooring at rimrockflooringmt.com. Over 40 tile silhouettes on display every time you walk into the 5,000 square foot showroom. Rimrock Flooring, 2 years now, going on 2 years in business here in Billings with Mark Woden, an 11-year vet of the flooring industry. Rimrock Flooring, 1440 Central Avenue. All kinds of blinds in Billings, all kinds of blindsmt.com. And check out their work if you're off of King Avenue West over by Fred's Appliance, one of Bobby Gray's most recent jobs for all kinds of blinds. Temperature check 22 in Billings. Click the weather button at livinlargelarry.com for an expanded forecast for Billings, Montana. Redline Computer Studios, West Billings. We broadcast the show from Christina, KK, Jamie, Sue, and Carrie, ready to serve you at their full-service salon and spa, Quick Spa on Grand at 2348 Grand Avenue. Online details at quick-spa.com for spray tans, permanent makeup. Maybe you need that massage after the weekend. Deep tissue, hot stone body wraps, gel polish, nail art on your nails with Jamie, Sue. All at Quick Spa on Grand Avenue in Billings, quick-spa.com. Received another taxed item in the mail the other day, and I just put it in the Lisa Woods accounting stack. But items that you can deduct that will help you out personally. Do you know all of those? Donations, house, medical, IRA, student loans, active student teacher deductions, things like that. How about the over 50 new laws that were just approved for the 2016 tax season? And that's why we have professionals doing our taxes. Lisa Woods on Grand Avenue, 1211 Grand Avenue, Suite number 4 in Billings. Woods Accounting. And check them out at woodsaccounting.com.
The following message is brought to you by Goodwill and the Ad Council.
The inherent right to work is one of the elemental privileges of a free people. Endowed, as our nation is, with abundant physical resources, and inspired as it should be with the high purpose to make those resources and opportunities available for the enjoyment of all, we approach this problem of reemployment with the real hope of finding a better answer than we have now.
Your stuff can be more powerful than you think. Your stuff can be a resource for change. Donate to Goodwill, where your donations help fund job placement and training for people in your community. Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org.
Hard to believe Valentine's Day is really creeping up on us here at the Bighorn Resort. I was talking to Terry Braun and her staff. They have two cool packages for Valentine's weekend. The Lovebirds package, that's less than $100, all-inclusive package. The standard king room and hand-dipped strawberries, bottle-less champagne, the Lovebirds special, the Bighorn Resort, as well as the family water park package for February 14th. Costs you less than $150 for water park passes, pizza, pitcher of soda, all-inclusive. The water park, by the way, will be open on Monday after Sunday's Valentine's Day. February 14th coming up at the Bighorn Resort, thebighornresort.com. Jim and Austin's Barbershop, Main in Billings Heights, is the official barber for the Livin Large Larry live show. Our staff here, the best $10 haircut you'll ever have. And if you go over your lunch hour, 10 minutes, you'll be in and out looking good. Jim and Austin's Barbershop, 2225 Main in the Heights, official sponsors of the 2016 Billings Wolves. Jim and Austin's Barbershop. Listen to this list of restaurants participating in this year's Taste of Billings at the Billings Depot coming up in February, the 5th and the 6th. On Friday, Commons 1882, Jake's 10 at the Northern, Wild Ginger will be on hand, Bin 119, and more Cajun fatties and wine as well. And then on Saturday, Walker's Grill, Bistro Enzo, Harper and Madison, and at least a dozen wines then. That is led by Chef Mike Callahan. It is Taste of Billings. It's back at the Billings Depot. You can log on for tickets at billingsdepot.org. February 5th and 6th. I'm kind of getting used to N2 cryotherapy. Carrie and I went for our third or fourth visit over the weekend. N2 cryotherapy, wellness therapy, has been in Billings since last July with Cindy Graff and her team over at N2 Cryotherapy, 805 24th Street West, number 4. If you've got aches and pains, if you've got arthritis, if you're an athlete, this is the perfect routine as part of your pre or post workout. N2 Cryotherapy, give them a try. N2cryo.com, again in Billings at 805 24th Street West, number 4. N2 Cryotherapy.
Join us at 1-888-858-1408.
All kinds of blinds in Billings, all kinds of blinds, mt.com. Temperature check 23. And our complete forecast coming up here, livinlargelarry.com and Live Large Larry Live. Our Billings area forecast from Broughton Construction and Home Repair, Braaton. You can find them on Facebook, offering 30 years of experience in all kinds of remodeling, concrete, roofing, and siding, and more. And they offer specialized consulting service to revitalize your home for improved livability or increased value prior to sale. Broughton Construction and Home Repair. Some isolated snow showers for Tuesday and Tuesday nights, 33 for Tuesday afternoons, high close to 40 for Wednesday and Thursday, also low to mid 40s Friday. Saturday and Sunday, Saturday at least, closer to 50 for a high as we jump ahead to looking at the weekend, and on Sunday about 45 or so. Get a 5-day look at the forecast at livinlargelarry.com. Click on the weather button. Forecast here on the show is courtesy of Jade Furman of Landmark Realtors, MontanaProperty.com. She'll listen to your needs. Jade will show you properties meeting your specific criteria and in your price range. Count on that. Jade Furman of Landmark Realtors, 1925 Grand, MontanaProperty.com. We use KTVQ.com, the Billings Gazette, and Color8.com for some of our news stories here on the Billings Morning News and Live Large Larry Live. The Billings Morning News is brought to you by Rimrock Flooring, 1440 Central Avenue. Mark Wotan, an 11-year veteran in the industry of flooring, and 2 years on his own here with Rimrock Flooring, rimrockflooringmt.com. You can search him out on Facebook as well. Billings residents are rallying for a young girl battling a brain tumor. Candace is one. Was placed on life flight from Billings to Denver due to a tumor found in her brain way back in October. On Monday, Hooligan Sports Bar continued its Community Monday, donating 20% of the sales to the family. There's raffle prize packages, kid-friendly events, and live music featuring Alder Lights along with Grant Jones played on Monday night from 7 to 9 p.m. So thanks to Hooligans for their fundraisers they work for and give back on Mondays, and we wish the best for Candace, who's 1 year old. So far, the effort, by the way, has raised nearly $10,000 for the family with their GoFundMe account. So that's a legitimate GoFundMe account, and you can catch the GoFundMe account link at ktvq.com. The Great Falls International Airport landed a direct flight to Chicago for the summer. The low-cost airline initiative announced news of the flight over the weekend. The initiative is a partnership between the Great Falls Airport Authority, Great Falls Area Chamber of Commerce, and Great Falls Tourism. United Airlines will operate the route on weekend mornings from June 11th to August 14th. A 70-seat jet with a first-class section will fly passengers to and from Chicago O'Hare International Airport. And United has already started selling the non-stop flight tickets, and that's out of Great Falls. If you have an inkling to head to Chicago this summer, then there you go. It is arguably the most wonderful time of the year for cookie lovers, and it's almost here. The Girl Scout cookie season for Girl Scouts of Montana and Wyoming, the GSMW, begins this Friday, February 5th. The staple of Americans is available several ways in the coming weeks. Girl Scouts will be taking pre-orders for cookies between the 5th and the 28th of February, with delivery in late March or early April. Cookies can be ordered online from a Girl Scouts from the 5th through April 10th, February 5th through April 10th. Cookies can be purchased during booth sales between March 25th and April 17th. Cookie varieties available this year include the Thin Mints, Samoas, Tagalongs, The Savannah Smiles, there's a whole list of these. The price of Girl Scout cookies in Montana and Wyoming remain at $4 a box, with the exception of the gluten-free variety. Those sell for $5 a box. Got to get our share of Girl Scout cookies. A man serving time for murder at Montana State Prison has died. Prison authorities said John Ed Gambrell Jr. is 59. He died on Sunday at the prison following an extended illness. Gambrell was sentenced in Flathead County in March of 1990 for deliberate homicide committed with a dangerous weapon. He was sentenced to 110 years in prison for the 1989 murder of his girlfriend, Lori Schegel. Gambrell became eligible for parole back in 2006, but has been denied several times. The Billings Morning News from Rimrock Flooring at 1440 Central Avenue. RimrockFlooringMT.com. They're also on Facebook as well, and they belong to known buying groups, and that's going to help keep the cost down for you, the customer, at Rimrock Flooring. Give them a shot at 1440 Central Avenue in Billings. All kinds of blinds, MT.com. All kinds of blinds in Billings. Temperature check at 22:33 for a high this afternoon. In Billings, the World Wide Web, our show, Livin Large Larry Live at livinlargelarry.com. Thanks for logging on to the live show or even the replay. You can catch our YouTube podcast anytime you want to, as we're on YouTube. If you log on to livinlargelarry.com, you'll see the YouTube icon. Click on it so you can watch and listen to today's show or yesterday's or last week's. Our file is pretty extensive up there. That's our podcast. Also, for your smartphones, the TuneIn app is what we use. You can take us pretty much anywhere. Laptops and tablets, your desktop computers. There's a player at the website. Click on the Listen Now button for all of that at livinlargelarry.com. The Redline Computer Studios, West Billings, Montana, every morning. Here for the show, Livin Large Larry Live.
Today on Save on Taxes, we ask 100 people what costs less than filing your taxes with IRS Free File.
A car seat.
No! Erica, what do you think costs less than filing your taxes with IRS Free File?
A pair of shoes.
Wrong again. The correct answer is nothing costs less than filing your federal taxes with IRS Free File because it's absolutely free. That's right. With IRS Free File, you get brand-named software, online tax prep, and e-filing for free. The software helps you pick the right forms, find tax credits, and does the math for you. Free File even helps with the new healthcare provisions, and it's all for free.
So, did we win anything?
Everybody wins. freefile.irs.gov. It's fast, it's safe, it's free.
LivinLargeLarry.com. Log on for the show. Livin Large Larry Live here from the Redline Computer Studios. We're sandwiched in between the Wave Car Wash off of King Avenue West and 29th Street West in West Billings. Redline Computer Stores. Our studio's in the back of the store. Here's a pretty slick operation as well. So nice to have you along here. One of the between 1,700 and 2,000 streamers that log on over the course of the week consistently. Appreciate that. If you give us 5 minutes listening time, or 10 or 15, if you give us 15 minutes a day, then that's all you'll need. You'll be informed as to what the heck is going on around Billings, Montana. And Livin Large Larry Live here. Were you caught up in the caucus, the Iowa caucus last night? Jeez, it actually got pretty exciting. I'm not much of a political guy, never have been. Not sure if I'll ever grab on to full-time politics, but the caucus, just tuning in and out, was interesting. This is going to be one hell of an election year, 2016. Republicans, Cruz won it. Yeah, Cruz won it, 27.7% of the votes. Iowa caucus last night, the Republican end. And Donald Trump right behind, 24.3%. Marco Rubio, 23.1%. Dr. Carson at 9.3%. And then Rand Paul and Jeb Bush bring up the rear on that. We'll have a more detailed look at that coming up. The Billings Morning News coming up before 8 this morning. Democratic side, I guess no surprise that Hillary Clinton, the Iowa caucus, just about half, 49.9%. And Bernie Sanders at 49.5%. These, of course, are all unofficial, as I think, the Democrats, the Iowa caucus, 99% reporting with the numbers that I just gave you. So interesting. Iowa caucus. That's 2016. Who you voting for president? Better start thinking about it. Big Jobs Jamboree coming up, the annual event here, the largest jobs fair in Montana. And it's the 25th annual Jobs Jamboree over at Metro Park Pavilion in the Heights in Billings on March 9th. So make a note of that. And we'll have Tricia Smith-Glenn in tomorrow on the show to talk about that event. Over 140 employers ready to even hire some right on the spot on March 9th from 11:30 to 6 p.m. Jobs Jamboree. Again, the 25th annual event, the biggest in Montana. That's coming up March 9th at the Metro Park Pavilion. We'll keep talking about that as time draws near here on Livin Large Larry Live at livinlargelarry.com. And we'll look into an interview we had with Cindy Graff from N2 Cryotherapy. I love success stories, especially when it comes to one of my sponsors in N2 Cryotherapy in Billings, 805 24th Street West. Cindy has a great customer base and athletes and elderly that are fighting arthritis and just pains, aches and pains. And N2 Cryotherapy is working. Great wellness therapy. Anyway, we had a talk with Cindy and one of her customers, Jed, a while back. We'll replay that coming up in a few minutes here. Livin Large Larry Live, livinlargelarry.com. From the Red Line Computer Studios in West Billings. If I could sing, I'd sing to the rooftops about Brown's Automotive. Over 60 years now in Billings. Brown's Automotive, we use them, and there's 4 convenient locations. Brown's Auto Service on Broadwater, Brown's West Auto Service at the corner of Rosebud and 20th Street West, and 2 downtown locations, Automatic Transmission Company at 13th Street North and 1st Avenue North downtown, and Brown's Rebuild Center downtown at 18th Street North and 2nd Avenue North. And it's tune-ups, tire alignments, complete auto repairs, transmission specialist. Over 60 years in Billings. Brown's Automotive, BrownsAutoBillings.com.
You use Tearless Baby Shampoo because it's gentle on your baby's eyes. You make sure his toys don't have any sharp edges. You always test the bath water to make sure it's not too hot. You taught her what to do when the smoke alarm goes off. You make sure she wears a helmet when she rides her bicycle. You put on his sunscreen, even when he's embarrassed his friends will see. You do so much to keep your child safe. But are you using the right car seat for your child? Is your child facing the right way in the car seat? Is the seat too big or too small? How do you know when it's time to move your child into the next type of seat? Car crashes are a leading killer of children ages 1 to 13. Protect your child's future at every stage of life. For information on the right seat for your child, visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat. That's safercar.gov/the-right-seat.
A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Call or email your Livin Large Larry Live show ideas. Larry at livinlargelarry.com and 1-888-858-1408.
All kinds of blinds and Billings, all kinds of blinds. MT.com. Temperature check. About the mid-30s today in Billings. 23 now. All kinds of blinds and Billings, all kinds of blinds. MT.com. Temperature check. 27. Kind of a biting wind this morning, but it's going to warm up to about 43 later on this afternoon. Get a 3 to 5 day look at the forecast. livinlargelarry.com and click on that weather button. All right. N2 Cryotherapy at 805 24th Street West, number 4 in Billings. Cindy Graff, her crew, and I've had, my math is into good, I've had 2 visits with you. Right?
Yes, you have.
And I've passed both.
Yes,
and
good morning to you.
Yeah,
and
good morning.
Oh, yes.
Cindy Graff, good to have you with us. And N2 Cryotherapy, log on to n2cryo.com. And I've known Jed for a couple of years. One of your customers from N2 Cryotherapy, and I happened to run into him Saturday before last, going in for one of my sessions. And Jed is a customer of yours. And talk about, first of all, Jed, why you came to N2 Cryotherapy, why it's helping you.
For years, just been looking for something to help with the pain.
Like arthritis, or
I've got ankylosing spondylitis.
Oh, wait a minute. That's one of those gigantic words. If I told you to spell that, Jed, could you do it? Probably not.
ANKYSLOSING,
he does know.
and then spondylitis is SPONDYL. ITI.
Don't leave me hanging.
Yeah, see, when you deal with some pain like that for a while, you do know how to spell
Yeah,
it.
you have to know about it. So you heard of Into Cryotherapy. You went in and talked with Cindy Graff at the shop there. And how many sessions have you done? Do you recall?
Oh, geez, I've been going pretty straight for a couple of months now.
Yeah, 3 months.
3 times a week.
Yep,
three to four
times.
And you're finding it works well for you then?
Oh, it works wonders. I've tried everything. I'm on some pretty heavy painkillers. Recently been able to go down on those a lot.
End of the day, that's what you would like to hear.
Yes, I was just so excited when he came in and told me he had gone in for his yearly check and they had lowered his medication.
Right.
Yeah.
How many years have you had this sort of pain, and what other remedies have you tried that haven't worked, apparently?
It's been about 6 or 7 years. My lifestyle and job kind of help with the pain a lot of times. But I've done acupuncture, I've done chiropractor, the meds. Stretches, exercise, just about everything you could think of. And then my wife actually forced me to go in to see Cindy, and I'm glad.
You should have seen him the first day he came in.
Looked like me. I was scared to death the first time I went in. Come on.
No, he was more, I'm not going to think this, believe that this will help me because nothing else has, and until it does, I'm not going to believe it. That's exactly his attitude, and I was so praying and hoping that it would be good for him. And
3 months later, he's back 3 times a week.
I'm telling you, his wife is extremely happy.
Yep. Yeah, she
has her husband back.
The change. Yeah.
A definite difference, it sounds like.
Oh yeah. Yep. I wake up every morning now. It used to be 3 to 4 hours just to kind of get going, be able to lift my arms over my head, and now I can jump up.
I can't imagine. I just can't imagine.
I can't imagine it either, but for somebody who has to live that way, I just am so glad that he came in. And actually, she made the appointment for him, and a lot of times that is what is happening. The spouses are calling in, making the appointments for either wife or husband.
Well, my wife Carrie heard us talking about Into Cryotherapy, back in November when we launched the show.
Sure.
And I talk about it over and over and over, and she says we ought to give that a try. And we go in as a couple, Carrie and I.
Yep.
So.
Yep, they come in on Saturdays and see me, and it's just awesome. I mean, and the results that we're now seeing after, we've been in business a little over 6 months now. So for the people that have used it as a management tool, pain management tool, like Jed, we are seeing results now.
Now you realize Cindy brought Into Cryotherapy to Billings back in July, and had your wife pushed you towards cryotherapy, you'd be going to Salt Lake City probably.
Right. If they would have even tried it. If they would have even thought, found out about it, that's where they would have been going.
And going to Salt Lake City probably isn't an option. No, it'd be a lot worse shape than I am right now.
Yeah. Well, good to see that. I'm glad that that's a success story. Cindy,
it is a success story, and I just cannot say enough about how glad I am. His wife called that day, and she said it was for my husband. And when he came in, and when he left the first day, he didn't want to tell me how he felt exactly, but I could tell he felt better already.
That's awesome.
I went home and wanted to run for the first time in ever.
It's a miracle. Cryotherapy, I'm telling you. New year, new stuff. That's my motto this year. Is new year, new stuff, and new stuff being Into Cryotherapy here in Billings, intocryo.com. Let's talk Cindy Graff. You came in this morning pretty happy about you've got maybe some new clientele coming into
yes, the basketball is getting pretty hot and heavy here in town now at the high school level. Also, of course, the college level. But we are seeing, yesterday saw another gal on the basketball team from West. So now I have 2 coming from West in basketball there. I have 3 coming in tonight from, they are weightlifters. they're getting ready for competition, so
Right.
we have those also. High school age.
That's cool to hear.
And the athletes are coming in, and I did make my way over last Friday and see the Wolves open house,
good. Yep.
and that was just a fabulous,
It was. I was there
fabulous
for
thing.
that.
Yeah, it was great to meet the players that were there, the coaches, and it looks like I'll be going over to give them a big talk in February before they get started, so they know what we have to offer.
When you launched into cryotherapy, did you think that it would be so athlete friendly?
Well, I knew that the athletes really, that's what it was here for in the United States. That's why it came to the United States, was for the athletic.
Yeah, ice bath or into cryotherapy.
Right,
Yeah.
and so the original reason that we have it here is athletic. The original reason they have it in Europe is from the 70s when they started doing it for rheumatoid arthritis. So I was hoping that our teams would come, our athletes would come, because the reason why, I want them to win. I
Sure.
want them to be
Yeah.
the best. I want them to have an edge on their competition. So if they can come in and recover and then train harder the next day, we'll have the edge. And we did go over with the Wolves all the people that they're playing, and none of the places, cities that they're playing have it. So let's use it as an experiment,
talk
and let's
about the
win.
edge, yeah.
Let's win.
Good thinking. Into cryotherapy, 805 24th Street West, number 4. Any final comments you want to add to our talk today?
Oh, I just wanted to thank Jed for coming in,
Yeah.
and he
You're
is
welcome.
really one of the success stories
He is.
we've had, and in about 3 months, it's really showing some extreme changes in how he feels.
Before you leave, though, talk about, for those who have never done into cryotherapy and want to here in Billings, talk about introductory pricing and how all your price packages work, if you would.
Sure, we have a $20 introductory if you say you heard it here on Livin Large Larry.
Thank you very much.
That's $5 off your first
Yeah.
time freezer. And then after that, we have packages of 3 for $150, making them $50 each. We have package of 10, making them $45 each. And then like Jed is, he's a member, and he pays $2.99 a month, and he can come in every day we're open. He makes it about 3 to 4 times a week, which gives him a great price.
A great investment in your health, Jed, it sounds like.
Yeah, so, and also remember that we can take flex accounts, we can take health savings account, debit cards. If you're VA, talk to your VA about
Sure.
it. Come and get the information, take it to them, take it to your doctor or your physical therapist with the VA and talk to them about it, because I've had one person come back and be able to purchase a package on his VA, so.
And Jed's a young man, and you are starting to get a clientele of veterans. Do you get elderly in for cryotherapy as well?
Yes, in fact, that was who came at the beginning the most. And I would say now we're getting down to about 70% pain and 30% athletes.
Awesome.
We're also in the older range as far as the pain, because when you get older, that's just what happens. You have different things happening to your body, and pain, you feel it here getting out of bed.
I'm 55 and I'm starting to feel it. In 2015, I started feeling these weird old guy pains. I'm thinking I'm only 55, and I've noticed a difference with into cryotherapy as well.
Yes, and we're finding a lot of knee problems, as you grow older, and hips and stuff like that, and we've seen just great results with the knees and the hips.
All right, into cryotherapy, 805 24th Street West, number 4, and you mentioned that cryotherapy's been around longer than we all think. It's been in Europe since the 70s.
78.
But here in the States, really, it's just
2010.
Yeah, it's been just sporadically talked about, and now it's here in Billings, Montana.
Right, and it is coming up more and more all
Right.
the time. You'll see it on talk shows, in the news, in the Men's Health magazine had an article the other last month. So yeah,
I just call it great wellness therapy. I think it's a good way to describe it.
it is.
Yeah.
It is really great wellness.
If you want to find out a little more about what cryotherapy is all about in regards to N2 cryotherapy in Billings, you can log on to Cindy's website, N2, that's the numeral 2, N2 Cryo, Cryo, N2Cryo.com. All right, Cindy Graff with N2 Cryotherapy. Jed Porter, thanks you guys. This has been fun.
Yeah, thank you very much, Larry.
That has worked. All right, Livin Large Larry live at livinlargelarry.com, and our YouTube channel is up. Log on to YouTube, and the YouTube channel is Livin Large Larry Live. That was a replay of a visit we had with Cindy Graff from N2 Cryotherapy in Billings, 805 24th Street West. My wife and I use it a couple, 2 or 3 times a month, and it does work. So give it a try. Wellness Therapy, n2cryo.com.
Call or email your Livin Large Larry Live show ideas. Larry at livinlargelarry.com and 1-888-858-1408.
All kinds of blinds and Billings, all kinds of blinds, mt.com. Temperature check, 22. And a complete forecast coming up here. Be about 33 to 35 in Billings today. Redline Computer Studios, home of our show here each morning, Livin Large Larry Live, West Billings, Montana. So at the end of last year, for this year, 50 new laws were approved for the 2016 tax season. Do you know them all? Lisa Woods of Woods Accounting does, and she can guide you through it. Lisa Woods, make her your accountant for personal, for your family, for your business. Woods Accounting at 1211 Grand Avenue, suite number 4 in Billings, woodsaccounting.com. And by the way, Obamacare, what does that mean for you and your taxes? Lisa Woods, Woods Accounting can let you know that. woodsaccounting.com. Christina KK, Jamie Sue, and Carrie ready to serve you at their full-service salon and spa, Quick Spa on Grand at 2348 Grand Avenue. Online details at quick-spa.com for spray tans, permanent makeup. Maybe you need that massage after the weekend. Deep tissue, hot stone body wraps, gel polish, nail art on your nails from Jamie Sue. All at Quick Spa on Grand Avenue in Billings, quick-spa.com. Well, lovebirds, there's a package at the Bighorn Resorts just for you for Valentine's Day coming up on Sunday, February 14th. First of all, $99 all-inclusive package with a standard king room, hand-dipped strawberries and a bottle of champagne as well, $99. Details at thebighornresort.com, and also the family water park package available on February 14th as well at the Bighorn Resort. For less than $150, early check-in at 2 o'clock. You get 4 water park passes, pizza, and a pitcher of soda as well, all-inclusive. Valentine's Day at the Bighorn Resort. Again, thebighornresort.com. We could see a little snow in our forecast around Billings. Our Billings area forecast is brought to you by Jade Furman of Landmark Realtors, MontanaProperty.com at 1925 Grand Avenue in Billings. She'll provide a market analysis to clients wanting to list and sell their home, including specialized consulting in current trends in color or styles and modifications. Jade Furman of Landmark Realtors, MontanaProperty.com. Just a chance of some isolated snow showers for Tuesday and Tuesday nights, and 33 for a high this afternoon. It'll be about 40 or so for Wednesday, Thursday, on into Friday. And then Saturday looks to be closer to 50, 49 to 52 in Billings for Saturday, 45 for Super Bowl Sunday. A forecast from Broughton Construction and Home Repair. No job too big or too small. Trustworthy, knowledgeable. Trust the Broughton family. Broughton Construction and Home Repair. BRAATON. Search them out on Facebook. Well, more of the Billings Morning News coming up. Livin Large Larry Live at livinlargelarry.com from the Redline Computer Studios. We're in West Billings, Montana. And thanks for listening all over the world. Appreciate that. Germany, Japan, China, Russia, Mexico. Have a dozen Canadians that stream our show at some point of the day. We appreciate that, and hanging with us all week. Between 1,700 and 2,000 streamers now during the course of the week. So appreciate that. All kinds of blinds in Billings. All kinds of blinds, mt.com. Temperature check in 23 mid-30s today. The Billings Morning News is coming up here in a second. If I could sing, I'd sing to the rooftops about Brown's Automotive. Over 60 years now in Billings. Brown's Automotive, we use them, and there's 4 convenient locations. Brown's Auto Service on Broadwater, Brown's West Auto Service at the corner of Rosebud and 20th Street West, and 2 downtown locations, Automatic Transmission Company at 13th Street North and 1st Avenue North downtown, and Brown's Rebuild Center downtown at 18th Street North and 2nd Avenue North. And it's tune-ups, tire alignments, complete auto repairs, transmission specialist. Over 60 years in Billings. Brown's Automotive, brownsAutoBillings.com. Listen to this list of restaurants participating in this year's Taste of Billings at the Billings Depot coming up in February, the 5th and the 6th. On Friday, Commons 1882, Jake's 10 at the Northern, Wild Ginger will be on hand, Bin 119, and more Cajun Fatties, and wine as well. And then on Saturday, Walker's Grill, Bistro Enzo, Harper and Madison, and at least a dozen wines then. That is led by Chef Mike Callahan. It is Taste of Billings. It's back at the Billings Depot. You can log on for tickets at billingsdepot.org. February 5th and 6th.
Call or email your Livin Large Larry Live show ideas. Larry at livinlargelarry.com and 1-888-858-1408.
Attribution for our newscast on the Billings Morning News from KTVQ.com, the Billings Gazette, and Color8.com. And the news brought to you by Rimrock Flooring. If you want a spacious 5,000 square foot showroom to shop in for flooring needs, then Rimrock Flooring, 1440 Central Avenue, and over 40 tile silhouettes to choose from. RimrockFlooringMT.com. One person's dead after a head-on crash west of Laurel along I-90 on Monday night, according to the Montana Department of Transportation. A head-on accident that involved multiple vehicles had both eastbound lanes blocked and resulted in one death. Some of the vehicles were reported to be on fire. The crash was reported at just before 10 p.m. on Monday night, and traffic was detoured overnight. 2 ambulances, multiple fire trucks, and MHP troopers responded to the scene. As of 4 on Tuesday morning, the incident had been cleared, and I-90 is now reopened. The Syrian refugee crisis has received national attention, and the dispute of whether or not to allow refugees into the U.S. took center stage in western Montana on Monday in Missoula. One group held a rally in front of the Missoula County Courthouse to protest the possibility of allowing refugees into Montana, while another group is trying to make it easier for refugees to resettle in Missoula. Jim Butterbaugh of Whitehall has been organizing rallies all over Montana concerning the Syrian refugee crisis. In 2015, the U.S. accepted 70,000 refugees, 3% of which were from Syria. The world's most profitable social media network, Facebook, has vowed to ban the private sale of firearms. It leads a Billings gun page with thousands of members to regroup elsewhere. Amid the Obama administration's recent vows to curb unlicensed gun sales, many people said they would use social media to continue transactions. In response, Facebook officials backed the president's decision and announced the social media platform will no longer allow peer-to-peer gun sales. The administrators of the former Facebook group Billings Gun and Ammo Trader said on Monday that they're frustrated and disappointed in the decision, but they're not surprised. Instead of fighting back against Facebook like it did back in 2014, the Billings group says they will move their conversations to a private website. The website nationalgunclassifieds.com will be activated sometime in the coming weeks. So the question, why is Montana's primary held in June? From Secretary of State Linda McCullough, she says Montana's primary election is in fact one of the very last to be held. And these are Linda McCullough's words. She believes it's to the voters' advantage. She said the candidates have more time to talk with voters, and many take time to visit. The candidate filing opened January 14th and closes March 14th. If the state moved the primary, it would force candidates to file during the holidays, and that doesn't seem practical. The Montana primary election, by the way, is June 7th, 2016. Iowa caucus, did you follow that last night? Republicans, Cruz won. Ted Cruz, 27.7% of the vote. Donald Trump, 24.3%. Marco Rubio, 23.1%. Dr. Ben Carson had 9.3%. The Iowa caucus, Rand Paul and Jeb Bush were at the bottom. Democrats, Clinton, 49.9%. Tight race, the Iowa caucus, Sanders, 49.5%. The Billings Morning News from Rimrock Flooring, rimrockflooringmt.com, also on Facebook. 3 stores for better buying power for you, saves you money. Rimrock Flooring, 1440 Central Avenue. And our all kinds of blinds and Billings, all kinds of blindsmt.com. Quick temperature check at 23 in Billings, Montana. From the Red Line Computer Studios, west end of Billings, Montana. Livin Large Larry Live on YouTube at livinlargelarry.com. Also the TuneIn app for your smartphones. Livin Large, Larry Live, the show. Our replay sponsor is from Keystone Mortgage and Billings. Their Main in the Heights location still open, but I stopped by their new location, downtown Billings at Keystone Mortgage, a much more spacious space. Keystone Mortgage, our replay sponsor. You're not just a number, you're our number one priority from Keystone Mortgage.